let it play for a while. Hey everyone, welcome to PrepperNet Live. I am Garvin. We have Uncle Buck in the house this evening.
What's going on, guys?
And I enjoy that music. And I was going to play the video, like the starter video, but I'm like, nah, that would mess up the song. This song is so good, so I didn't do it. So welcome everyone. We are live. It is Monday, the 20th of March of 1999. I'm not sure why I said that, but let me add this up to the stream over there. There we are. We're on the side there. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. It's 2023, I guess. So, man, wouldn't you like for it to go back to 1999?
No, I'm
no.
good.
Okay.
No, I'm good. Well, maybe things were maybe more normal then.
Simple life.
Simple
back
life.
when Leave It and Beaver. Wait, no,
that's way before.
That was way before. Hey guys, welcome to PrepperNet Live. If this is your first time here, I got a slide for you, and it's going to tell you what this is about and why we're here. PrepperNet Live is a live streaming bi-weekly event that will bring you the latest, greatest PrepperNet news, interviews with experts in the preparedness field, lots of members participation. We do a lot of questions and answers. We do training. We're going to do training. We've already done some training. Talk about that. We've got a giveaway, and it's just an exciting show. It's probably, we're about to beat Fox News, Carson Tucker and viewers. So we are on our way there. So thanks for joining us. Hey, if you're a PrepperNet member, this is for you. If you're not a PrepperNet member, guess what? You are now, or you can be. So we'll go through some things tonight. So this is kind of an update for us. It's for us. It's for us to hang out and to talk with the entire community of the United States of America and the PrepperNet community. So that's what it is for. Hey, I am your co-host, Forrest Garvin. I have 4 books out, and you need to buy every single one of them, like hundreds. If you bought 100 books, I would make around $40. It's crazy. You don't make a lot of money in books, but they're good books. I mean, I'm getting great ratings on these things. Like Christian Preparedness, that's a 4.6 over almost like 200 people. Preparedness Roadmap. My latest one is Entrepreneurship for Survival. Oh my gosh, get out of the system. Start your own business. This book helps. It's written with a preparedness mindset and getting out of the system. That's my latest book. It's been out for maybe 60 days, 40 days. It hit the #1 new release. It hit a bestseller. It hit all of them. All 4 of them have hit #1 new release and #1 bestseller, and actually in their categories. We're not talking New York Times here. We're talking Amazon crayon section. No, but hey, they're good books. I put my heart in these things. Go purchase one. Again, if you know how much an author makes, I probably make less. Hey, this is the Uncle Buck right here. You have got to listen to the Prepping Academy podcast. It is the hottest thing on the airways. I mean, Joe Rogan wants to interview us. I mean,
Stretching it, man. You're stretching it.
Okay. He's probably never heard of us. I assure you of that. So, but it's a great one. Tonight, I interviewed you in a sense. Mm-hmm. It's going to go live on Friday. Mm-hmm. So, and with some things, we'll cover a little bit of that stuff here later.
Yeah, of course.
But we cover all kinds of things. It's a great time. It's if you like mediocre, you're going to love this podcast. No, it's really good. You stepped it up a notch or two there, Uncle Buck. So
setting up expectations, right? Just setting expectations correctly.
And so another thing that's going to be new to PrepperNet is we're going to do a book club. I think her name is Phoenix. People are going to read a book. They're going to get like on the Zellnet or something and talk about books, and they'll have watch parties where you watch some movies that help you with mindset and everything. And so that's a new thing. Join PrepperNet.net to find out more information. Here's some other events that's going on. So We have a weekly national Zelnet every Monday night. And you're a big part of that, aren't you, Uncle Buck?
I'm second Monday of every month is when I host.
And what is that? What's a Zell? That's not where
Yeah.
you wire each other money, is it?
No. Completely different Zello. So
Okay.
Zello, if you get on your iPhone or whatever application device you do, I think you can do it for your computer as well. But you can download the Zello app, and it's a way to have communication similar to like I won't say like a walkie-talkie, but like similar to another communication device that you can send verbal communication through the internet. So I mean, we do every Monday night. We have somebody that hosts it. It hosts from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern time, and we cover. We typically bring in like a scenario and listen to different individuals respond to that particular scenario. We have different individuals that will provide just context on a question that we ask, how they would handle a certain situation. And we get everybody from folks that are dialing in for the first time, getting on Zello app and doing that for the very first time and trying to get familiar with how do I clearly and articulately send a communication out? How do I wait for that response back? And then we get folks that have been doing this for years, right? They're just pros, and then everyone in between. So they're pros at communication, they're pros in preparedness community, and they bring a lot of insight. So I always go away from that, even moderating, like just learning a tremendous amount.
Sweet. Now, do you moderate the Sisterhood Zello night on?
That's what with the wig on.
Tuesday
I put
night?
the wig on and then I do it.
So on apparently the ladies have to have their own night. It's called Ladies Night. It's Sisterhood, which is on Tuesday nights at 8. I think it's actually on a different channel. To get more information on that, again, preppernet.net, all this information is on there. Then we have a 40-meter digital HF net every Sunday night, and we also have a voice net, which is the single sideband HF phone meaning voice in a sense, net every Thursday night at 9:30. Again, preppernet.net. I know we got our ham people are already in the chat room. But yeah, hey, so we got a lot of things every week. We got a ton of things going on, and we've got. Let me see what the next slide is. Oh yes, and so another event that's coming up for us. So not only can you do all this during like every week, and you can get majorly involved. So here, just a little back step. We are national, but yes, we have local meetings throughout the United States, 115 cities. You have your city leader, you meet people locally, you train, you get to know them. But this is kind of the national thing. And so we do national things together like the Zelonets. It's not for certain cities do that. Like I know our Tennessee group, they have their own, but we also do it national. These are nationals where everyone can get involved. So if let's say that your city is Dallas, Texas, which we do not have a leader in right now, you can still participate in all the stuff that we're doing without having that leader in Dallas. And so we're going to be begging for someone to step up and be the leader for that very soon. But we also have an event. So we have BG in the chat room. Everybody say hi to BG.
Hey, BG.
BG, she is the queen of, well, she can't be queen. Well, okay, she is the queen of PrepperNet. If you have problems, issues, you got child issues, you got husband issues, you got any issues, she helps everyone.
She sorts it out.
If you got money situations, she's there. She can help you out. But she was just mentioning the Mountain Readiness Expo. Oh, look! Oh my! Oh,
Jericho.
But hey, on May 5th to the 7th in North Carolina, Harmony. What a great little town name, Harmony.
Jericho Road. That's on Jericho Road.
Jericho Road in Harmony, North.
There you go.
Jericho. You remember that show, Jericho?
It's a great show.
It's a great show. Yes. So Harmony, North Carolina, PrepperNet is going as a unit. I mean, we're just bringing the people. Come there, hang out with us. We're going to have potlucks. I mean, the expo's going on, but all the PrepperNet's invited to go They got a big place and it's pretty cheap. I mean, getting a camping spot and the expo's cheap. We can just go and hang out and go to classes. I'm teaching a couple classes, and several of our PrepperNet members are teaching classes. So just come on, go ahead and make reservations. We have nothing to do with it, except we're partnering with them. We're bringing them, the PrepperNet crew from around the United States. So go and do. If you got questions for that, where can you go? Who knows? This is where you're supposed to say Uncle Buck, PrepperNet.net.
Yeah. Oh.
So hang on. So if you got questions about this, where can you go?
PrepperNet.net.
That you're a winner. That is correct. So let's keep going. Oh, a giveaway. So if y'all would read any of my literature that I write, you'd understand that I am a part owner of the Sun Oven. The Sun Oven is that device right there. You put it in the sun, it cooks food deliciously, and you will love it, and you'll never use your stove again, except when it rains, because it doesn't work good when it's rainy and cloudy. But it's awesome food. I'm doing a giveaway. Go to that URL, preppernet.com/giveaway. You give me your email address. I can't give it away unless I have your email address and say, hey, what's up? I need your email. You won. And trust me, you'll want me to have your email at that point. But we're giving away a complete Sun Oven package. And this is all the works. This is the pots. This is the cookbook. This is the cover, a professional chef to cook, put your food, get your food ready. Okay, no, I added that. So anyway, it's everything, and it's really way more than $679, but that's because I forgot to even add some things to the math. But anyway, it is an amazing unit. So giveaway, go and register. Don't do it right now because you're watching this, but later go and register to win. We got 3 more episodes, I guess 6 more weeks, and we're going to be giving that thing away, and we'll announce the winner. So do you own a Sun Oven, Uncle Buck?
I do not.
Man, that's really disappointing.
Can I get in the giveaway?
You can.
I'll send you my email. I'll text you right now.
I told all my city leaders, everyone, because I'm controlling this myself, so everyone has a chance to win. So yes, let's go. What else we got? Okay, guys, I never push this. I never push this, but we have a premium membership. It's $40 a year. That's like 3 cups of coffee at Starbucks. And right now, once you join, you support PrepperNet. I mean, you literally support it. PrepperNet has like $26,000 a year in cost. And everybody goes, what? So take meetups. Meetups are $200 a year. We have 115. You divide the 115 by 3 because each paid version can have 3 meetups, and that's almost like $9,000 there. Our email is like $500 a month. I mean, it just adds up, people. So to support PrepperNet, it's $40 a year. Again, a few cups of coffee. But here's some things you get for free. And some of these I've just completed, and I'm actually working on a couple right now to add to this. One is Introduction to Cryptocurrency, a spy tech workshop, which is everyone seems to just love that thing. I go through a lot of neat little gadgets and things. Family emergency preparedness plan. You get documents, like 100 pages of documents. Now, I didn't create all the documents, but I put them together. You create literally a plan for you and your family to bug out, or you have to leave your house because there's a temporary evacuation or something. I got all the documents. I mean, and I'll walk you through putting it together. I did one on important document binder. I'm providing you with the documents in itself. You kind of just fill these documents out for both these. As you do it, you'll fill it out the first time. You go, okay, wow, we got it. We feel better. But as time goes, you will totally get into these and change it and make them your own. Privacy and security webinar. Home-based business. That's what I did when I released my book for everyone here on PrepperNet. It's no longer out there for everyone to see, but it's about creating your own home-based business. I think there's 2 videos with that. Survival group, guys. seriously, most of you guys have probably seen that, but I have that on there. It's a great one. Intro to prepping. I assure you guys probably have not been through that. That's 5 like 2-hour long videos. And actually, my third book was written from my course. I actually wrote the course first, and then I finished the book. And then a presentation I can assure you none of you have seen, and it's called Ready or Not. An older presentation. It's about our power grid. Actually show photos that you'll never see. You won't find these photos in here. I have photos in there of the actual monster trucks carrying these massive transformers. And when you see these trucks, you go, oh, they just can't ship that in. No. They just can't send that thing down the road to get to the location. And I go through all that. I haven't watched it, but I did post it so everyone can see it. But anyway, so join for $40. I'll be able to eat next week. So, and I don't ever go through the premium membership. I never push that. We just hope people without pushing, they just join and help us. So this is PrepperNet Live. PrepperNet Live is, again, for us, the community, everyone. This week we got the amazing Uncle Buck that just came back from an amazing adventure. Yep.
We'll talk about that. It's gonna be a good.
We'll talk about that. What's that called? Small World at Disney.
Yeah, it's a small world after all. Yeah, I just rode the ride a bunch of times, and then
so he just got back. No, it's something way different than that. And then April 3rd is the Kilted Prepper, which is an amazing one of our city leaders up in Roanoke, Virginia. And then Larry, oh my gosh, when you hear Larry's voice, you're going to go, oh my gosh, that guy must be cool. He's our city leader for Knoxville, Tennessee on April. And then May 1st is a mystery guest. And I may or may not know who we're going to have then. I can't say because it's a mystery.
That's why it's a mystery, man.
It's a mystery. Yeah, I can't give any hints on that. So I do want to remind everyone, I mean, last week we did this thing called Bug Out Week. Bug Out Bag Week, not Bug Out Week. Bug Out Bag Week was like Shark Week, but no sharks. I mean, it's exactly the same. We did 2 videos. One, we kind of went through kind of the mindset of the video. We took a lot of questions, and that is currently still live on the channel, right where you are right now, on the YouTube channel. It is live right there. You can watch both them. I went through my bug out bags. And what did I tell? Did you remember what I said about after I went through mine, Uncle Buck?
You needed to shed. You cut about what, 25 pounds?
Well, I did, but I if I would have bugged out with my bag, I would have died. I have so many much better tools that I didn't. I packed my bag 2 years ago and hadn't gone through it, and that was a good reason I wanted to do this because I wanted to go through my bag. I got a new bag to put everything in, and I went through my whole bag and everything changed. I went through my get home bag and my bug out bag, and it was eye opening. Some things get old. Band-Aids get old and they won't, they kind of, the sticky stuff kind of goes bad. I found out that, I'm sorry, were you going to say something?
No, you just got to refresh that stuff, right?
Yeah.
You swap out gear.
And I found out that I'm like, okay, I know I have some duct tape somewhere. Where's my duct tape? And I'm like, and then finally later in the day, I'm like, you know what? I pulled my little duct tape around my old card out and used it for something and never replaced it. And so things that I put in, and I had 3 different and types of not Leathermans. What do you call it? Multi-tools. I had 3 in there because I thought, anyway, go through your bag. So go through that. It's free. It's up on PrepperNet YouTube channel, and we had special guests, Sheepdog and Beth G, which is Beth G's in the house. She's the BG in here. So next this is where I introduce you.
Yeah. Well,
hey everyone.
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
It's Uncle Buck.
Yeah. So I think I already did some intro, but I guess what do I say? Cliff Notes version of who I am. So I've been doing some of the preparedness stuff here for. I'd say I'm pretty green guy. Right? I've probably been doing it for a couple of years now. Prior military though, learned a lot along the way. I was ex-Navy, so it wasn't an Army or Marine Corps where they'd really get into the thick of it. So, but learned quite a bit. And yeah, like just happy to be out here and continue to learn and raise my game. I was kind of the guy that didn't think. I mean, I don't know. Like I think up until like the whole COVID stuff, I was the guy that like I just did what a lot of other folks did, right? Like I mean, I like watching sports, and I like just kind of went through and did things and never really questioned anything that was going around. I mean, shame on me for that. I just wasn't there. And there's a lot of these folks I know that are probably on the call that like they had their aha moment years ago, and I just probably had it the last few years. Like something's just off, and just need to start taking being prepared and making sure that family's prepared. There's a plan in place, and we're getting the right gear, not just getting the right gear, but getting the right gear and training it and field testing it and getting some experience with it. So yeah, like super good, super excited to be here, guys.
Was it a light at the end of a tunnel? Near death experience?
Near death experience too. Yeah, near death experience.
Okay.
That was that. Yeah, that had that situation happen as well. So like just trying to be smarter, more diligent, and I don't know. The world's just getting weirder and weirder. I can't even explain it anymore. That's probably why a lot of you guys are on this tonight. But I just came back from a trip.
We're not going to talk about that yet.
We're not going to talk about it yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Let's go.
Because we got something else for you to do here in a second. So, hey, our dead city of the week, we got two, Boston and Dallas. We got many users here, but our leaders, our members there, we need leaders in these areas. And hey, we need you to step up. We've recruited, since we've been doing this PrepperNet Live, we've got over 10,000 new members. It's crazy. I mean, it's just been crazy. And you were telling me that you're an admin. You see the email come in, you're like,
that's
holy moly, it's nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
We got people, joining not only the preppernet.net, but all our different meetups. It is insane the amount of growth we've had. But we need a good, decent, mediocre leaders for Dallas and Boston. Boston has like 1,300 members in there, and Dallas, I have no clue how many members. Hey, if you're interested in being a leader, we got BG in the chat room. Just say, hey, BG, be cool when you type this. BG, I'm interested in being a leader, and just she'll help you out and guide you. So, but we need leaders. We need good people to help us. So I got a video of the week, of course. I always do a video. And this week video is, I kind of got to set up because I don't want to have to play it twice. It's not long, but this is for the guys' weekend, we'll say. This is how we're going to start the guys' weekend. It could be a girls' weekend, absolutely. And so let's see what the next slide is. Okay, so I'm going to put this up here. Guys, listen carefully because I think I'm only going to play this once. But this is how you set up the guys' weekend, okay? So here we go.
Okay, for 500, we arrest you in front of your wife or your girlfriend. We come in hot. Police cars, siren lights, uniform, handcuffs, radio going, read Miranda. We'll even tase you for an extra 25, but there's a different waiver for that. We leave under very confusing circumstances, so it's hard for them to track you down. We take you to a campsite that's paid for, tent, beer, bait, fishing license, fishing equipment, and on Monday at around noon, we release you at the Waffle House, and we just say it was a big misunderstanding.
Yeah, that's so we all do that, and they'll take us to the. I just think that's hilarious. How
like
people.
And the guy's probably making a boatload of money too doing it.
I know him and the boat guy that takes your guns across the lake. They are absolutely billionaires by now. that was hilarious. I just laughed on that. So okay, next is the book of the bye week. Oh, you like that? The bye week, because this is bi-weekly.
Yeah.
And you picked this book. Now, I told you I read the book.
Can't Hurt Me.
Can't Hurt Me.
Mm-hmm.
Was that his first book? I think that was his
first book.
Mm-hmm. I have not started this one. So tell us about your book here.
Yeah. So if you don't know who David Goggins is, he's a retired Chief SEAL team. I think he went through Hell Week 3 times. I think he got injured on the first 2 and then went through it again on the 3rd time and actually made it through. Went to Ranger School as well. And then he was a PJ for the Air Force earlier on in his career. So PJs, if you don't know what they are, they're kind of like the special operations for the Air Force. Mm-hmm. So guy's got just a great, crazy story, multiple injuries, multiple things. He wrote a first book called Can't Hurt Me, and it kind of talks about his upbringing. A lot on mindset, like a tremendous amount on mindset and pushing your body past points where you didn't even think was possible. This is relatively new. I think this maybe came out in the last 4 or 6 weeks or so. But I'm just getting into this one as well. It talks a lot about mindset, pushing through barriers and just doing the maximum amount that you can with your limitations, because we all have them. We all have limitations, but like, how do you maximize those limitations to be the best you possibly can be? So yeah, I'm just into that here in the last couple of days. It's good thus far. If you don't like swearing, probably not the book for you, because there's a lot of F-bombs in it. But
you're doing the audio?
No. Like, I'm reading it,
and he's got the F-bombs in.
They're all over. Yeah, they're all over the place. But it's if you get past that stuff, it's the message. The message is important. Like, it's a very good message.
Cool. That's the book of the bye week. I may be the first person to ever say that, the bye week. Okay, and then now, so let's see here. Next, let's do this. I'm going to just switch it up a little bit, and boom, there we are.
All right. I like it.
So Uncle Buck, I'm going to prove to everyone in the chat room right now that Uncle Buck is a little crazy. When I say little, I mean a lot.
Yeah. So we just recorded an episode, by the way, like just before this, and we'll release it on Friday. I don't talk a lot of details, but there's a guy named Chad Wright. He's got out of SEAL teams, I want to say a few years ago, 4 years ago, and does what a lot of these guys do, right? They do a lot of bushcraft stuff, a lot of survival type stuff, mountaineering, hiking. One of his, he's got a few programs, and one of them, I heard about him on a podcast called like Andy Frisella. He owns Andy Frisella show. He owns a company called First Form, which does a lot of health and nutrition stuff. Really good company. This guy, Chad Wright, was on there, and he started talking. I like just the way he sounded, and I checked out his stuff. It's called the 3 of 7 Project. So the 3 of 7 Project. And you can sign up for a basic course. So you got to go through an application process, and it asks you about your physical fitness and kind of your mental sanity. And like, it asks you all these things. And ultimately you apply, and then several weeks went by, and I found out, like, out of all the folks, there was 8 people that got selected. I was one of them that got selected to go. So I left not long ago, just got back, went to the Smoky Mountains. And it's very military-like, so knew what to expect coming in, like kind of the mentality there. But there was folks that were not prior service. We had folks that were young, folks that were old, and our whole mission set was to traverse through the Smoky Mountains over a few-day period of time. We ate together, slept, under tarps together, and hiked together. We ended up going and stepping off, and after we got our gear issued out, and just kind of pushed through the mountains, learned a lot about. First of all, it was pretty treacherous. I mean, messing around with the Smoky Mountains and going in, it's no joke. I mean, it's hard work, and I think our first day we stepped off right around noon after we got gear issued and made sure everybody's pack was right. We didn't get in and to about 1:30 in the morning. So that's how much we pushed it.
Okay,
and it
hang
was
on right
raining.
there.
Yeah.
I want to tell everybody that this is not a gear test. All the gear that they took was approved, and they were told exactly what to bring.
Correct.
And they had a backpack. They think it's somewhere around 50 pounds or so, but they were told what to bring, exactly what to bring. So this isn't a gear test. And so when you're hiking, you start at noon and you literally hike for 13 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know where you're going. And I'm sure it's nice and sunny.
It rained every day. Every day we're there. It was, the weather wasn't too cold. I mean, it was a little bit cold, but wasn't that bad. It just rained every day. And then some of these switchbacks that you're trying to traverse through, it's a bad day. You slip and fall. It could be your final day. I mean, it was no joke. But then we just work with these different folks and trying to come together as a team, making sure that we were communicating right. It was tough, right? We had our kind of the forming, storming, norming, performing phases of team growth. You have it in a very truncated amount of time. So very similar to military. You just kind of get thrown together and like, we got to get to it from point A to point B. And you don't stop until you get there. The crazy part is it's like, we never knew we were going. Like it was never disclosed. Like we're going to go this far. It's going to take this long. It was never, we just go as hard as you can. And for as long as you have to, until you're until the lead, the SEAL team guys like, okay, we're at our destination. We're setting up camp. And that happened to be for night one, I think. About 13 hours. And then we had to set up camp. We got a fire going and, we were all juiced up that first night just from the adrenaline rush. And, but you learn a lot about, like fuel and how important fuel, especially like stuff like that, where you're really trying to traverse the mountains in any kind of like crazy wild bug out situation. Two big things were fuel, and staying hydrated and eating. Our check marks, our benchmark was 300 to 500 calories per hour, making sure that we're hydrating every hour on the hour. And we didn't get this right. Like, I don't want to like say we jumped off and we had it right. I mean, literally like half our team right out of the gate left without water. I mean, that's how kind of you just assume everybody had water. For the folks in our team, they're getting ready to step off on the trail with no water at all. So there was some certain lessons learned there as far as communicating and having folks kind of take charge and making sure your team was squared away before you actually stepped off and pursued. So I don't want to like make it sound like we were squared away right away. We had to go through some trials and error. But you learn the importance of communication. You learn the importance of taking breaks. Foot care is huge. Like foot care is massive. I learned that the hard way. I mean, I peeled off quarter or $50 size pieces of skin on both heels. So it made the rest of the trip very, very painful. But you got to get locked in with the right mindset and just keep pushing through. But about yourself, fuel, relationships, what you allow in your mind, because we did see some folks that I don't think had the right mindset, or as I got to be careful what I say here. I think they had the right intent, but I think some of their mindset, they started going into themselves and not looking outwards and how they could be a better team player, how they could help other folks. They got really, really isolated, and that's a dark place to go into when you're trying to stay alert or fall off a mountain. But great overall experience. I mean, I go into a lot of different details on the podcast, which comes out on Friday, but epic experience, and it was hard. I mean, I don't know how people did it 100 years ago. I literally don't know. Like that is hard living. Folks that get on these shows that are, I've listened to some other podcasts. They're like, I'll just rough it. I'll just be a nomad. And
right.
That dude, good luck, man. I'm like, that is brutal life. I mean, your body's going to have to, you could do it. Your body's just going to take a beating until you acclimate to that type of life. And it is unpleasant all the time.
Embrace the suck, right?
Embrace the suck.
So if it's kind of like let's look at it in a bug out situation kind of thing. You bugged out. You had the right gear because you had Navy SEAL. I mean, let's throw the big Navy SEAL. I mean, but you had the right experts with you guys. You had 2 experts. They told you exactly what to bring, what to wear, every kind of thing, right?
Yep. Yeah. So there's
you had the right gear.
Yep.
It was raining, but I have a couple of statements here. One is bugging out sucks. You got to have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
And if your plan, and I've been saying this and I say this and I say this, and we practice it, and that's fine. But if you have a plan and you're going to bug out and go in the woods, I would say that a lot of you guys are just I mean, how do I say this? I'll just, you guys know I'm truthful. At some point, 4 days in the woods, you're going to be coming out of the woods with your hands up going, okay, we give, you know what I mean? We give, we can't do this. I mean, and if people shoot me, that's fine. But so you had the right gear, you had help and support. You had 2 Navy SEAls there, or at least 1 Navy SEal.
One
Navy SEal there that was teaching you, it was guiding you.
Yep.
You were told about once you started, you were told, hey, food and water is, I mean, people don't really think about the food and water much, do they?
It's no. And you gotta plan your route. So we had a primary and a secondary navigator, right? We went through navigation stuff, and we had a primary and secondary navigator. We all had kind of roles. And we had to, make our stops and our routes based on where the water was going to be. Thankfully, it was raining, so a lot of the streams and the creeks, the water was flowing, right? It was plentiful. But we had to make in time our routes so that we could be landing at a watering hole so we could filter out water and some of the stuff, right? Like folks that are probably on here, they know how to use a, Sawyer water filter. That was our primary. And we had some, iodine drops, right? 5 drops per 750 milliliters. We dropped them in, let it sit for 30 minutes. So we had 2 Nalgene bottles, one that we could drink right away if we were filtering the water, so we needed to drink it right away. The other one could ride with us for 30 minutes. But they teach you all that stuff. Some folks were pretty seasoned and they already knew. Like a lot of the water filter stuff, already knew it. I own those the same ones. Some of the stoves that we use, I actually own the stoves that we use, and I field test those and use those multiple times camping. But some folks never did this before. I mean, they took camping to the extreme. They just all right, let's really tune it up. The cool part is our last night there, we slept on top. It was 5,200 feet above sea level. We slept on top of a ridgeline on the Smoky Mountains. So the clouds are rolling in. Great experience, but we had to have everybody got a whistle as well, because you don't want to get up there and it gets so dense and foggy. Somebody starts walking to go hit the head, and next thing you know, they're falling off the side of the mountain. It can be bad. So if you can't see, that's why we had the whistles. You stop where you're at immediately. You don't move anymore. You blow the whistle. Somebody will come get you. Not me. One of the other guys, the instructors.
So let me just ask a couple questions quickly. We're going to do about 5 more minutes here. Was anybody shooting at you?
No.
Okay. So, I mean, this really just sucked.
We talked about the ABCs, right? Like the ABCs of packing out, right? Accessibility, balance, and compression in your bag. You want anything nice and tight, and how you packed out was really important. Putting that sleeping bag in at the bottom was really good because it really supported your lower back. And then, obviously the stuff that you need one time per day, you're putting that at the bottom, and the stuff that you're going to need more frequently, like your rain gear, we kept it up higher. And then your snacks were kind of on the side pouch. What I thought was really, really important was, I saw folks that went through this. I had, gear that had the pockets on the sidearms and pockets on the front here, and then plus 2 pockets, where they normally would be on a hoodie. And that was my rain gear. And that was phenomenal because it was raining nonstop, but I could put, my beef sticks here. I could put my other kind of stuff here, licky chewies, whatever. And then pack some other stuff in there so you could do it on the go. I didn't do that initially. I had to wrangle, take my pack off. It just became too inefficient. So having that stuff on your person while you're moving was phenomenal.
So let me ask you, I asked you this on the podcast, guys, you got to check out the podcast. He gets in a lot more detail. So I asked you in 3 categories. I asked you physically, mindset, and what was the other
Skills.
one? Skills. On a sliding scale, how did that, how would you rank them on that sliding scale?
Oh, definitely. I think skill set was the lower end of it, because we had an instructor there, right? Like if you didn't know how to tie something, or how to, like, you had somebody there to teach you the skills. As long as you had the ability and the willingness to learn, you were going to be good. So that was really 5%, I mean, of it all. The fitness, I mean, that was up there, because I mean, you're moving with 50 pounds plus minus 5. Like, I mean, that weight adds up. Ounces equals pounds equals pain, especially over a long period of time. That's probably about 20% or so. The rest of it's mindset, man. I mean, it's just your ability to just keep driving. Because folks didn't feel good, right? I mean, I was banged up, knee hurt. I mean, I was out like the entire next week. I mean, I just was in flip-flops and working on my laptop, because I didn't want to put socks on. I mean, my feet were so tore up. So foot care, critically important, but having that mindset to, like, you got to push through it. You got to get up. You got to get up. You got to move. The good part about that, if you're ever injured, or if you're ever not seriously injured, but if you ever have those issues with your feet, or even parts of your body, a lot of folks will know this. Once you get going and that blood starts moving through your body, it takes you 20 minutes. But once it starts moving through your body, you feel way better. The worst thing is to just sit and do nothing. You just got to get up and move and push through it. Yep. And that's where a lot of the mindset goes. Because there's, we had to take other people's gears, that their stuff out of their bag, because they were really slowing things down, and you could start seeing them mentally, like, shifting, and they were getting into more of a panic mode, where they were telling themselves a narrative in their head about, can they do this? Can they keep going? I never went that route. And I think there's other folks there that didn't go to that route. It was just whatever we got to do to get to where we need to go, however long it takes. If it takes 12 hours, we go 12. If it takes 15, whatever. Like, we're just going to keep going.
Yeah. That, could you bring a gun? Cause I think after the first 8 hours, I'd go, hey, leader, I need some information.
The whole purpose was, there is no finish line. So we didn't track miles. We didn't track elevation changes. We didn't track time, of like how long it was going to be to get there. We just got there when we got there. And the whole purpose of that was, I mean, it's very symbolic of life, right? There's no real finish line. Like, can you keep going as hard as you possibly can for as long as it takes to get to ultimately where you need to go. And then you got to do it all over again. Like, there is no, like, finish line, kind of like preparing. Like, you do preparing. I can only be so prepared, but there's always something more you got to get better at. You got to get skilled at. You need to study. You need to learn. You need to meet other, there's always something. Like, it never ends.
Yep. So that's we call him Uncle Buck. He's part of the Charlotte group, and he does a lot for PrepperNet. He's on Prepping Academy, but he does a ZelloNet for us as well. So hey, thanks for that. Hey, more information is on preppingacademy.com, and he gets in a lot of details on that. And we're going to take questions at this point. When I say questions, we are going to take a lot of questions. So you can ask Uncle Buck about his trip, or you can ask us about PrepperNet general topics, like, hey, I live in this city, USA. Is there a group near me? Or tell me about the camp out, bug out thing, or that we're going to do in May. You can ask any question you want. We're going to kind of put this around 15 minutes. I'm going to throw up a couple things that I already see that you can address. And one of them, of course, I asked you this first thing. Did you have moleskin?
No. No, I didn't. The members on the team did. I mean, I had aspirin. I had a basic med kit, but no moleskin. So lesson learned. I will never ever. I'm gonna go do this again in June. Out in Virginia for about a 5-day stretch, but 100% like I already bought moleskin. Like my wife went to Rite Aid or CVS and got me all the bandages and the moleskin. I was like, perfect. I was like, I'm putting those in my bag. Gonna need to have those because that was important. And then the other was the second pair of socks, right? Like some folks put on the athletic socks and then they put the wool over it. Some did just 2 wool socks. I just was like, I just kind of stepped off. I'm like, I don't need that. I'm like, and then I was taking my sock off later that night and skin was coming with it. So it was not good.
Okay. Hey guys, if you got questions, do like 4 question marks in your questions so we can identify them.
I saw BG ask, were there? Yes, there were. So out of the 8 of us, one of them was female. Yeah, and she got after it as well. So she helped out quite a bit on the trip.
Yep.
But yes, there is women on the trip.
Mm-hmm. And if your feet go bad, you're screwed. I don't care. I mean, hey, if you got a question, kind of format your question like that so we know that it's a question. But yeah, if your feet goes, you're gone. Are you ready to try a 50-pound pack this time? Yeah. No. So let's see. Uncle Buck, here's a question here. I don't know what it is. How many days was it?
Yeah. So it was 3 days. I mean, yeah, it was three straight days. So not crazy bad. It was going to end, but I mean, there's definitely a suck factor in there that you had to work through. But I mean, it was 3 days. It wasn't that bad. It was a long weekend.
Yep. The next question is duct tape. I've never used duct tape.
So we did moleskin. So I ended up using moleskin somebody had, and then we got to the point where the moleskin was starting to wear. So then we had the athletic tape, right? That kind of athletic tape that you would, tape yourself up. And we kind of I started putting that behind it and over it to just kind of keep it nice and snug. That seemed to work a lot better. But yeah, I was not moving well to start the next day.
This says PrepperNet, not all here stud. Listen, I'm not the stud. I didn't go on this trip. I know better. I told you he was crazy in the beginning. Elderly folks, kids, basement dwellers, what are your recommendations for people? I mean, that's where I will just say this. You got to have a plan. And your plan, I mean, if you know what to look for, if we know what to look for, like if there's a disaster happening, let's say New York, Chicago, LA, well, you got to go quickly. That way most of us can drive. Everybody throws up, oh my gosh, I'm so tired of EMPs. But EMP, yes, some of the cars will still work. You got to get there. I mean, but anyway, what would your recommendation be to this?
Yeah, I think not a stud at all. Like I'm just too stupid to quit. I would say like elder folks, kids, basement dwellers have a base level of fitness, right? Like and you don't need to go crazy on stuff, but some air squats, some push-ups, if you get into burpees, you get into burpees, but like some base level, even just walking. If you ever heard of a group, I think it's by an ex-Special Forces guy, it's called Go Ruck. But Go Ruck does a lot of these challenges where you just essentially you can put on a 20-pound weighted vest, a 20-pound pack. I mean, folks just take a backpack and then they wrap literally bricks in duct tape so it doesn't mess up the inside of your bag, and then just walk around with that around your neighborhood. I mean, yeah, your neighbors are going to think you're crazy, but it's all good. Yeah. You'll that really helps. It helps strengthen the core, helps strengthen the hips, your legs, and you're not doing any kind of crazy CrossFit stuff, but you're just developing a base level fitness.
Yeah, I do something like that. I take my bug out bag, I toss it in the back of the car, and I drive.
Drive around and listen to music.
I drive around. I drive to Chick-fil-A and then drive back. And so, I mean, I kind of do that. So here's the next question. Any groups in Southern West Virginia? BG, if you will tackle that, that would be great. And I don't know. I think we do, but I don't know. Virginia, did you use tarps or tents? Was it your choice?
It was a choice. So we had the option to do tents. So we had a buddy system, right? You had a Navy, we call them swim buddies, but battle buddy. So it was me and one other guy. We bunked together. So one person carried either the 2-person tent or the tarp. We decided that we were going to do the tarp. It's a lot lighter. And then we had our Big Agnes blow up kind of mattress so we could stay off the ground. And those are all manually blow up. There's a small little bag that you kind of plug in and push and just blow. It's cumbersome. It takes a little bit of time, but very, very lightweight. So we did that. The sad part, it was like you had to set it up in the rain, but once we got that all situated, we were good. And the downside on that is, especially when we were 5,200 feet up in the mountains, like that wind, it gets under that tarp. You're going to feel it quickly. And then you're open to other elements. Like if stuff wants to crawl on you, it's just going to crawl on you. That's the way it is.
Did you have the right boots?
I did. Well, I had REI. So I had REI Gore-Tex boots. They're decent. But I am going to upgrade for sure. I'm going to upgrade.
Okay. Did you have a special friend in the shelter? I don't know. I think that's what they're asking.
Yeah. So we had a buddy system. So like everybody, we had communal items, right? Communal stoves, communal group tents, and then we had the buddy system where somebody carried the tarp, somebody else carried the blow up mattresses. So we kind of shared. So everybody didn't have like the complete load on them carrying on their back. So we buddied up and everybody had buddy systems in place.
Okay. I think the other people that went with you, because let's be honest, you have the mindset, former military, you're in pretty decent shape, and you've got to be, I think you're around 19 years old.
Yeah, that's it.
How are the other people? Beginner, intermediate, advanced?
Yeah. So age wise, we had folks that were, I think the one guy, youngest was 24 and the oldest was 66. And then the other guy that was just 60, he booked it for his 60th birthday. And those dudes got after it. I mean, they were like, their mindset was, I'm not letting these young kids mess around. They're just going to like kick everybody's butt. But the level of, I'd say, prepping experience when we caught up, everybody there was very like-minded. They like just don't like what they see. But I mean, I didn't get a really good feel on like how deep are these guys in preparedness and what are they thinking about? Like we didn't really get into those conversations. Lightly we did. So I knew that it was on top of their mind, and that's kind of why they were on that trip to begin with. But it's like I couldn't make a really good assessment of where they all landed. So there was something there, but don't know how good or how early on in the process they were.
So I left this up here because I understand this person says that they would never leave an elder behind. But here's the thing: Beth and I were at a group of people asked us to come over and share some of our knowledge and wisdom this past week, actually, and we were there. They fed us good food. Mm-hmm. But and it says God's watching. I don't understand the God watching thing because I wouldn't want to leave my parents. But I would if they're bedridden or handicapped and I need to protect my kids. I think if your decision is to stay and put your entire family at risk, I just don't know if that's the right decision. Sometimes there's some tough decisions, and we discuss that with this group because they're all, we'll just say older than me. They were all older than me. They're not old. They're just older than me. So anyway, so that's interesting. Let's see here what we got next here. I don't know if these are questions. West Virginia, others. Yep. There's here's a question from Rita Harris. She's one of our new city leaders. Hiking boots, tennis shoes. I think you got to carry both.
Yeah, like as far as like a brand of shoe that I live by, and I did like I train a lot in these, and they're called Hokas. They're extra thick on the sole. You can put a lot of friction, a lot of miles on those shoes. I think the right and left kind of lateral support is probably not as good as in some other shoes, but you can put some miles on those shoes and they just keep going. I'm a huge fan of those, but it's at I think HOKA, I think is how it's spelled. Really, really good shoes. Boots, clearly I failed that one. So maybe based on my feet getting tore up. So maybe Forrest, you got a better recommendation for boots.
Could you imagine doing that trip with the boots that we were issued in the military?
Oh, you'd be smoked.
You would. Absolutely. It's crazy that, I mean, I forgot what we called our black boots. There were a name for them, but yeah, I don't know. I have boots, but I normally focus on my hiking shoes, like Merles. I'm a big Merle fan. And I do have a boot that's like a it's over the ankle. It's not a true boot. And the thing is, socks are important and boots are important, and also your physical conditioning of your feet. You know what I mean?
Yep, 100%.
So there's a lot of questions there. So socks. I know that they have these special socks that has like wool on the outside and like the stretch fabric on the inside.
Yeah.
What did you have? Just wool socks?
Yeah, I had wool socks. Yeah, okay. So I was all wool socks. They're all wool camping socks. I just did one pair on versus two, which a lot of folks did too. So mental note. Sheepdog, I was going back and forth with him after this. He recommended Solomon. Solomon Gore-Tex, really good. Yeah. And then looks like Vask. VASQUE. He said those are the two that he recommends for this type of work. So
this guy loved your statement, too stupid to quit.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. Just head down and go.
How about high heels? No high heels.
So it is 2023. So maybe I'll try that next time.
Okay, here's a question. I'm putting these up. I hope they're not what decision criteria and the bugging out and staying in for a particular individual. Wow, that's
it's a lot of variables there.
A lot of variables. I'll say this. I've told you guys many times, but we had people bug out for the pandemic for the fact that their son had immune system problems. So we had 3 families that ended up bugging out. I didn't bug out, but they felt it was in their best interest to bug out. So let me look for another question mark here. Here's one. Upgrade to what? Any choices yet?
Oh, Ken, those are the 2 ones. The shoes or the boots were the Solomons or the Vask. I think it's a VASQUE. Maybe I'm not even pronouncing that correctly, but those are the 2 recommendations I got from somebody that I trust their recommendations implicitly.
So, do you familiar with smart wool? I don't know really the difference between wool and smart wool. Are you talking wool or smart wool?
For me, like me, I was like, I just had wool socks. I didn't have the
wool
smart
socks. Wool. Okay, moleskin's a must. Yep,
100%. 100%.
This guy, poor mouse house, going some problem. Okay, here's a question here. Using the buddy system, I am surprised your pack was still 50 pounds.
Yeah, it was.
You didn't actually weigh them. You're guessing.
We're guessing. Yeah, maybe it was 40, 45. We had a lot of communal stuff in there. So Obviously, it got lighter the longer the duration of the trip because we were eating the food down. Because we had meals and then we had to carry communal pots and pans, communal white gas, communal. We had some couple ropes for bear hangs with carabiners on them. We had a big giant group tarp. So there was communal things that got kind of spread out from everyone as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That added a little bit more weight, and it all depended upon which straw you drew. Did you get the brick? I mean, we called them the brick because they were the big juicy stoves with the white gas and stuff like that in it. Those little things, like, you know, it might be 3 or 4 pounds, but it adds up pretty quickly.
Right. Yep. And you gotta have your steak and lobster and
yeah, that way. Yeah. So yeah, we were on. I think we talked about this on the podcast. There was I was hosting Zello night, and I can't remember who it was. It might have been Phoenix. I think she was on here, or maybe it was Preppy Squirrel, and it was freeze dried like lobster tail, like freeze dried. I was like, oh, that's pretty clutch.
Mm-hmm. So how many ounces were your canteens? You don't know any of that, do you?
Yeah, I do. It was, we had 750 milliliters, and there were Nalgene bottles, so you could put hot and cold in there without, you know, obviously putting the hot in without burning your hands. But we just used the standard Nalgene bottles. I think what is that, 32 ounces, I think is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that is 1 quart, quarter of a gallon.
When you did your so our Charlotte group went and did water purification this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that everyone has to learn, and everyone has to learn this, they take their Sawyer water filter, they take the bag and they try to get water in there, and it's impossible because that bag's been folded up, and you blow air in it, then it shrinks back, and you just can't get water in there. How did you do it? With a screw on, or how did you do the purification of water?
So it was a little bit easier in the mountains because you got running water. So once you start opening that up a little bit, like you had it opened up, and then you just kind of held it under the stream, and it just forced water in. So that was a little bit easier than maybe just steady state water.
And another way to do it is, and you guys is because, okay, the water you're putting in the bag is dirty water. And here's where we mess up. That there was a syringe that comes with your Sawyer water filter, and I think it has a tube as well, so you can suck the water up in your syringe and squirt it down in there with the tube. It helps. You're dealing with all dirty water at that point anyway. So I mean, that's another way that you could do that as well.
Yep. Yeah, I use it for back flushing it when you're all said and done, and just use that to back flush it out.
But isn't that supposed to be clean water when you back flush it?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So maybe
I back flush it out with clean water.
Yeah. Okay. Preppy Squirrel, which she knows everything. I mean, I'm not that. I mean, the lady just knows a lot. She's a prepping
ninja.
Yeah, exactly. I was saying that as a yes. So, you know, okay, and then Phoenix. That was me. Freeze dried lobster.
She's got it in her preps.
That's just wrong, Phoenix. That's just wrong.
You're just jealous. You want some.
Yeah, I do. Okay, we'll take this last question here. Unless someone comes up with a great question. Not that the ones haven't been great. I always make dumb statements like that. But shopping for gadgets, widgets. What about moving smarter, moving slower? So that was something I did ask you about in the podcast. Is in the cold, you don't want to sweat, so you've got to dress properly, and you've got to pace yourself.
Correct.
To your clothing, really.
Correct. So
if you start sweating, you're either got too much clothing on, or you're going too fast. It could be one or the other.
Yeah. So we, I mean, out of the gate, everybody was kind of geared up and just going. But the mountain beats you pretty good. So that question here, moving smarter. And so we had, we got it down to the point where it was like 300 to 500 calories every hour. And then we did, as we traversed through and it all depended on the terrain, but we had somebody on time every hour. We'd take a 10-minute break. And then the next hour it would be a 5-minute break with the pack on. The 10-minute break, we could take the pack off, eat, hydrate, communicate kind of our plan of action. And then we'd work with the navigators to like, all right, where are we going? A lot of the stuff, it's like navigating routes and stuff like that. There's a trail there, right? Like you're on a trail. I mean, some of it's overgrown and there's trees falling down over it and you gotta go over stuff. But navigating that route, it wasn't it's not like going to Greenfield and you're trying to figure stuff out with no trail at all. Like there's definitely a trail there.
Yep. I like this freeze-dried lobster with powdered butter.
I'd eat anything, man. I tell you what, man, after a few days of that, like you miss, I had a cheeseburger, like the biggest cheeseburger possible that I could order. And then some sweet potato fries and a beer. And I'm like, oh, this is, I don't know. It was just amazing.
Let me tell you about the Charlotte group. The Charlotte group has gone to like Uwharrie National Forest like twice or 3 times this year. And they always end up at a bar off the side of a road.
It was awesome.
Oh, you one of them?
Yes. I may or may not have made the suggestion.
So they did it again. I think they've done that twice now.
Yeah, it's called like the Bigfoot or something like that.
Sasquatch or something.
Yeah. So I got to go there. I was like, you just got to go there with the name of it. I just got to go there and like see what's going on. But it was like a big biker bar.
But they've ended up there twice, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's really roughing it, guys. You didn't go the last time with them, did you?
No. That first time
Bigfoot.
We did, yeah.
Gary says it's Bigfoot.
Yeah, we ended up going there. We were gonna walk it, like me and I think a couple of the other guys were like, we did 9 miles that day, and we're like, well, we got to probably another 3. I'm like, let's just walk it there, and like we'll radio in the QRF and like, hey guys, come pick us up at this bar. We're in trouble.
That just seems wrong. I'm just telling you.
Nah, man, it sounded like a good idea after 9 miles of walking.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And I guess this week they ended up at. They always have an event and they always end up eating somewhere. They ate, I think, at the taco place. I think that's where the photo was from. They sent me a photo. I was going to go this week, but I had some family members leaving and some situations that didn't allow me to leave in time. But anyway, so let us. I think that's it. We're going to shut down the comments.
Yeah.
That's good, man. You're right on this stuff. And that was perfect. So. Hey, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. Hey, what final words you got? I want to hear your summation of your entire trip. And I would say everyone's going to die. You wouldn't say that. You would probably say something about mindset, but go ahead.
Yeah, I think 5 big things. Number 1, fuel. Your fuel matters, right? Like what you put in your body, what you put in your head. It's not just the physical stuff you consume, but also the mental stuff that you consume. That stuff matters. It can make or break you. The relationships that you have in and around you, on your team, in your world, in your life, those things matter. They can make or break you as well. Mindset and being in, that clear the mechanism. If you ever watch a movie, Field of Dreams, just kind of getting into that clear-headed space to accomplish whatever you need to accomplish. Critically important. There's no finish line, right? There's no end, right? Everybody, if anybody tells you that they have it all figured out, they're lying, because nobody does. Particularly in the preparedness area, there's too many scenarios and too many variables to have it all figured out, and that's okay, right? Yeah, you just lean on the team. And the other thing that I took away from it, like everybody's got a mountain to climb. Like there's folks that were there that were dealing with a pretty serious death in the family. Some folks were dealing with their own mortality. We had some folks that were celebrating their 60th birthday. Some were facing trauma. Some were just like trying to level up their game. I was out there just because I wanted to just level up and just see how far I could push it. Yeah, like
you like pain.
Yeah, just let's see what happens. Do they make freeze dried beer? Ken, let me know. Let me know. We can go in on a case together, brother.
If not, Bigfoot Restaurant Bar and Grill is right down the road. So that was awesome. Hey, thanks for that.
Yeah. Thank you all.
Yeah. So hey guys, join us on PrepperNet.net. We're always there. BG is always there in the house. So is Preppy Squirrel. We got a ton of people that will be over there answer any of your questions. We'll see you in 2 weeks, I think, with the Kill Tip Prepper. Hey, and this Friday at 8 a.m. Will be the Prepping Academy podcast will be released. And I ask him all kinds of questions, and some of them are not even good questions. So
all good.
I do my best. Okay, guys, thank you for everyone joining us, and we will see you guys, like I said, in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay, y'all take.
All right.